Today's show is proudly sponsored by Rio, the premium activewear brand that's dedicated to making you feel your very best and your most authentic self. Use code INTUNE10 for 10% off your order today. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Intune podcast, where we discuss the music that makes us mindful. Today's guest has one of my favorite songs out right now. I have played it so many times. It's ridiculous. She has the most beautiful voice. She is the kindest soul. Maddie Lenhart.
I am forever changing. I don't mind rearranging. You've got to crawl before you walk. Routines I never bother, 'cause my mind can change by the hour, and I can live without a clock. Oh, don't you worry about me. Oh, 'cause I'm right where I should be. I'm doing just fine. Gonna paint my walls with my own design.
Hey girl. Hey girl. I'm so excited you're here.
I'm honored.
So pumped. And also you brought blankets, because it's about to be a winter snowstorm out there tonight.
If we're having a blizzard, we might as well be cozy.
I am so
send it.
excited. We both understood the assignment without even you asked me, and then I didn't respond.
Well, I realized I didn't have your number, so I'm like texting Antonio. I'm like, "What's the vibe? Can I wear a crew neck?"
We're doing cozy vibes only when there's gonna be snow outside in Nashville. We don't know where we're getting stuck. So,
and the good news is that I have this cozy angel baby.
You do
on my lap, and I'm just praying that I can keep her.
Listen, Lenny is making fast friends with you for sure.
Hi,
Lenny and Lenhart.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're sisters.
Double L coming at you.
Sisters.
Oh my God. Well, I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so excited to get into everything Maddie. But first I want to talk about your single that you just put out. It's your first one. I don't know how it's your first one, because you are so amazing. I've literally played so many rounds with you, and every single time I'm like, this girl is breaking my heart. And also what vibes. Sober is your single.
It is.
I am obsessed.
Thank you.
I was waiting for that song to come out. When I tell you, like, since the day I heard it the first time that we played a show together, and I was like, where is this song? Where can I hear it? How can I not hear it right now? And then I was like, do you just have the acoustic version you can send to me?
Girl, I would have.
Oh my God, I love it. It's so beautiful. Do you want to tell me a little bit about like how that came about and a little bit about the song?
Well, first of all, I love you. Thank you for loving it. That's really sweet. And it means a lot that you listened and streamed, so thank you. Yeah. So I wrote it with Sam Blasco and Aubrey Toon. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that song specifically was just, I just had the idea in my phone for a while, and you know how rights go, you just like shout out a couple things, and I shouted it out and they liked it. And yeah, it was like a pretty typical write. We wrote it probably like 3 hours, and I wasn't really writing for me necessarily. But I had been wanting to put out a song as an artist, like just to kind of like have more visibility as a songwriter and like just explore that a little bit. And I sent like 5 songs to the producer I had met with, whose name's Brad Hill. He's amazing.
He crushed that, by the way.
It
was everything it needed to be, I think.
Well, I like sent him just like ideas of stuff that I loved to listen to and like what I felt like my artist sound was. And I sent him a bunch of songs, and he said that one was his favorite. And it's funny because when I left Aubrey's house, I remember being like, is it me or is that song really good? Because like it's hard to judge your own songs.
It is, especially after you write so many of them. And I know you do like tons of like writing camps, and you know, you're constantly writing with people, which I think is amazing. And I think everything that you kind of do is got a little really, you know, beautiful touch to it.
Thanks,
and
girl.
Super personal. Everything is like, honestly, everything's kind of like heart-wrenching to the point where like you feel, I think every girl that listens to your songs has been there, but it's so personal to you. And I don't even know if you realize, like, because when you got up and said it the first time, you were like, this, you know, these things happen to me and all these things, and they were very personal to you.
Yeah.
But I've said it on here before. I think when you write the most personal to you and you don't think anybody else gets it, those are the ones that like hit every single person.
And those are the songs that I like to listen to. Like, even if it's not, like, if I can't relate to something completely, even sober, we took artistic freedom. Like, there was stuff in it that wasn't like completely true, but all three of us had, you know, related in a little, like, maybe, I don't know, we could pull from our own experiences to like help tell that story.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's hard to judge your own songs. And I had, you know, a couple songs that I was thinking about might have sounded like me. And yeah, I just remember leaving the right being like, I feel like that was a really cool song, but I don't know, because it's just hard to judge your own.
Yeah.
And then when Brad said he liked it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So good. I'm so glad you did it yourself and didn't give it to anybody else. Like, I'm sure people could crush it too, but like it's so perfect on your voice.
Thanks,
so.
girl. That's very sweet.
Yeah. No, I highly suggest that everybody go out and listen to this song, because it will wreck you, but you'll listen to it a million times. So, and it's literally almost at 100,000 on Spotify. I'm sure about the same on the other platforms.
I was not sure about artist stuff, like, for a couple of reasons. Like, I don't know. I don't have a conventional Nashville story. So I moved here after college, and I wanted to be pursuing music, but I didn't really know where to start. And so I just took a job at CSAC, because I'm like, oh my
gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, this will be a way I can meet songwriters. And like, of course it was not. Like, of course it was like so removed from the music industry, but like what I was actually doing. But I took that job and I was like, well, I don't think I can do this, but this is a way I can like still be involved. Like, I can know songwriters and I can be around music. And
yeah.
So I kind of like gave up on pursuing this before I even tried.
Oh, wow.
And then during COVID, I was just like so miserable, and I was so disappointed in myself for like not actually giving this a fair shot. And I was like, okay, I'm quitting my job and I'm doing this for real.
Yeah.
So
that takes so much.
I was just very scared. I don't know why. I think it's just, it's just intimidating. And yeah, so once I decided to full send into songwriting, and I quit CSAC and I started, you know, doing a bunch of side hustles to pay my bills, and everything has felt like this is what I need to be doing, which is cool. Like, it sounds cheesy, but like, I feel like songwriting is what my purpose is, one of my purposes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I felt really good about songwriting, got in the good swing of it, and like I felt confident in my rights. But then like the idea of doing artist stuff, I'm like, okay, that's a whole nother beast. I'm like, what's my sound? What's my brand? Like,
yeah.
And so I think for this first release, like I said, my main goal was to
you are the dog whisperer and Lenny is like attacking you.
she's my girl.
Do you want to jump down, buddy? I feel like I don't want her to get in your face.
Oh no, she's not bugging me at all.
Okay,
she's fine. You want me to put her down?
Yeah, let's put her down. Just because I don't want you to tell like a super important story, and she's just kind of like so close to you.
Do you want? Should I?
So yeah, so tell me a little bit more about you quitting your job to do music.
Okay, so yeah, I quit CSAC and I just got a bunch of like little side hustles so I could pay my bills, and that's when I decided to just like really commit to songwriting. And ever since I like made that choice, everything has felt really good and felt really right. And like, it's the first time I've ever done something that I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, which is cool. And it's very affirming to feel that way about something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But then when a lot of people had brought up like, are you going to put music out? And like my family and my friends wanted me to put music out. And when I started thinking about, what song I would do or like what my brand was, that was just like so overwhelming as well. Cause I'm like, I don't really know. I'm not sure. So I just kind of like, I don't know, I knew what I wanted the production to sound like. So I started there. And then the main purpose of the singles, what I'm trying to say, was visibility.
Yeah.
I never expected like so many people to listen to it.
they're listening.
That was
sure.
like just crazy. Like I really wasn't expecting that. And it made me feel like very inspired to do more.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what else you do, like on the artist side of things.
Thanks, girl.
Yeah, obviously you're gonna write for a ton of people, and you already have, so it'll be great. But like the artist thing, I'm very interested to see like how you like end up growing into that. And
you and me both, boo. I don't know. I'm just like I'm doing the best I can. I'm like, the number one thing I've promised myself is that I'll stay true to me and stay authentic to me, and that's really all I know at this time. I'm gonna probably keep putting music out, but I don't know if it will be like, I don't know if I think my dream is more to be like a full-time writer.
Yeah, I'm sure you will do that too. Like honestly, I just feel like you will. But I think it's cool to have that music in that's just your own, just so that people can hear like you using your own voice in your own voice.
Yeah,
and I think all writers, I think it's important for writers who do want to explore that to go ahead and explore it. And because as writers, I feel like there are people who genuinely like follow writers specifically.
Yeah.
And are like, wow, I wish they would put out their own thing. And just so I could hear like how their voice would do it.
Right.
Or like when you hear a writer at these writers rounds sing the songs that they wrote for these people that are like these massive artists, but you hear their version.
Yeah,
and
you're like, can
wow.
you just do like can you just do one? Like,
yeah, like, can you just put out your own just like so that I can listen to it,
right.
Just because that's where it came from. And it's a super beautiful thing to hear where it originated,
Yeah.
But that's amazing. I feel like you're in this like era of just like you said, being authentic to yourself and really just like learning. Because we are in an era right now where we can genuinely do anything we want and release it ourselves and say, you know what, whatever, let's try this. Like, let's throw something out and see if it catches, or let's throw something out just so family members and friends can hear it.
Right. I feel like there's so much, at least before I put the song out, I felt like there was so much pressure. Like, are you an artist? Are you a songwriter? Like, what are you? And, I don't think you have to like, I don't think there's rules to putting music out. Like,
yeah,
I am a creative. I've sang my whole life. Like that was my first identity, as a kid. Like my first identity was I'm a singer, you know? And then that, continued through my life. And I think I've stood in my way a lot just because I've lacked confidence a lot. But once I just started like doing things, even when I wasn't confident, I was like, okay, this is not that bad. Like this isn't as scary as I thought. Like this is, just dream following. Yeah. As cheesy as it may be, that's what it is.
Yeah. I don't think you'll ever regret taking a leap of faith with that, because it's just like, how cool is it to say like, I did it and look at all these people who listened. Like, I don't think that there's really a chance for failure there. Like you've already succeeded,
Well, it's funny you say that because my parents my whole family is so supportive of me, and they're so like encouraging and sweet. And my parents always tell me, they're like, if tomorrow you decide this isn't good for you anymore, like you already succeeded. Like you already, and this was even before I put Sober out. Like, so I totally believe that. And I think that moving to a city where you know nobody, no matter what you do in your life, is something to be proud of.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
It's, so no matter what you're doing, no matter what your field is, anytime you're doing something uncomfortable, you are being a strong person, and you have something to be proud of for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's very cool. It's interesting that you said do you want to be like, people were saying, you want to be an artist or a songwriter? Because I used to get that a lot. I still do. I think it's such an antiquated mindset and way of thinking, because so many of us have to wear so many hats every day as songwriters, as artists, as anybody in the music industry. You're expected now to do so much and carry so much on your shoulders. Right. And it's a blessing and a curse, I feel like, because you can be your own independent artist, but that comes with hats that people don't realize, and jobs that are not so fun, that maybe like there's a ton of things that I know that I'm not good at. Like, I am having to learn how to edit. I am having to learn how to even like produce vocals and things like that I never had to do before when I was like signed to other labels and things like that. Like, it's just things that you don't think about. But also a blessing because now I can put out my own song without anybody telling me yes or no.
Right.
And, you know, I can just test things and put things out that are just for fun, or things out that I really believe in and want to put everything behind. So I think it's interesting that is still kind of floating around out there. And I really wish that people would just mind the business when it comes to new artists coming out, new songwriters doing their thing. Like, there's room for everybody. And I feel like people, especially, you know, as you get the older crowd who are so used to like it, you go through a label, you have, you know, you go through these like chambers of things that you absolutely do or it doesn't work.
Right.
It's just such a different world now. And even when I was younger, I remember meeting with like this really big producer at the time and in country music. And I had like worked with him before and it was beautiful music and everything was cool. And I had met with him with like the label that I was with at the time. And I was like, do you have any advice to give somebody in my position who's been doing this for a really long time, who has had success, but, you know, is trying to have more success and really, really dive into this. And I remember him saying, just quit. Nobody's making it anymore. And I was like, how heart-wrenching to hear. And why are people telling creatives this? Like, why? It's already hard enough. We're going to do it whether they tell us these things or not. Why not help in some way that's constructive? Like, constructive criticism is a beautiful thing. Like, tell me where I need to go. Like, don't tell me that it's a lost cause because I'm going to do it anyways. Give me some form of advice to move forward.
As disappointing as that is, it doesn't surprise me at all that someone said that to you. I mean, it's just like, I feel like a lot of was this like someone who's like kind of tenured in the business?
Yeah.
I mean, similarly to what you just said, it's like they get so rigid and like how things are supposed to be that if you don't completely align with like certain things, they're like, you might as well quit.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, I think a couple things are at play here. One, every single person who lives here and is trying to make this a career has to be a little delusional.
Yep.
Like, we just have to be, because the second you start thinking about like statistics or likelihood or like, I mean, it's just you wouldn't even start.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, tell me I should quit. My brain's already telling me that all day anyways, and I still don't. So like, whatever.
Yeah. Like, it's so funny to me too, because like, I don't think people realize whatever you have to say to me, I've already said to myself, probably literally so much in a way harsher way every day of my life. Like, I wake up every morning with a ton of things in my brain that are like, you're crazy. What are you doing? Yeah. How in the world why are you still doing this? How are you still doing this? Like, you know, how are you going to pick yourself up? And there are truly weeks at a time where I cannot function correctly. And I still get myself up and do, you know, the side jobs and the things that you have to do for life. But they're like, to the point where sometimes it's really scary to have to pull yourself out of that mental space and then to have other people just come through and be like, yeah, and then you're really not going to do, what is that? No, dude. Like, and it's so sad because you can throw like a stone in this town and any single person that hits is going to tell you the same story.
Right. No,
it's seriously. Just like, who are these people that are spreading these like rumors and lies? Because I have a million friends who are crushing it right now.
Yeah. And I mean, what we were saying earlier, it's like success is very subjective. Like, do I feel like I won't be successful unless I have a number one? No. Like, I understand that, of course, that's what I want and what I'm going to work for, and I won't give up working for that. But like, I don't need to have a number one to be a successful songwriter. Like, for me, I want to help people tell their stories. I have stories I want to tell. And, you know, if anybody is listening, like, I guess the real form or the real way that I would consider myself like really killing it is if I could not have 500 side jobs.
Amen.
That would be, I guess, like what I would really consider like, you really made it, girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and like, I believe that I'll get there. And if that's delusional, okay, whatever.
Yeah. No,
maybe it is.
May your delulu come true.
Yeah.
Is that what people are saying right now? I'm dying.
Delulu come true. I'm stealing that. I haven't heard it, but I love it.
I saw it. Somebody sent it to me the other day, like right after New Year's, and I was like, "This is everything."
Like I don't know. I mean, again, I think like the fact that I've stood in my way like my whole life for things that I've wanted to do. Once I decided to really do this, I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, at least from where I'm at now, I don't see myself ever not doing this.
Yeah.
Like I think I will do this and forever. Probably.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, check in with me in a couple years. Like if this sounds completely beating me down, maybe I'll feel different.
Yeah.
But yeah, as impossible as it may be, and whoever that idiot was told you to quit, like you didn't, and look at you now, so ha.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll tell you though, like truly, I still work side jobs. Like I have like a million things going on, and some days I'm like, what am I doing today? I've gotten up and driven to the wrong place before. Like that's how crazy my brain goes. But like, do you want to talk a little bit about how you like kind of balance all of that and still stay creative?
Well, how I balance it is I don't really. It's like
chaos.
That makes it right. Balancing it makes it seem like I have my shit together, and I wouldn't go that far. But like I just always think like, I don't know if this is your life too, but basically I write every day, no matter what. There's a session every day, sometimes two. And then all my side jobs, I just fit in. So like I nanny part-time, like a day or two a week that I'll do that. I work for a writer's round in town, and I'm there one night a week. And then I have, work I have to do for that remotely throughout the week that I can do on my own schedule. And then I do Songfinch. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
It's been a little dry lately, but I do love doing it.
Yeah.
And I also will do gigs, like cover gigs.
Yeah.
So, and how I balance it is just like I book my rights first, and then I fill everything else in.
Yeah.
And mostly I think I just like get discouraged sometimes because I do feel so drained all the time. It's like impossible to not, because you basically work 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
If you're an unsigned songwriter, or even if you are signed, and you probably still have to have side jobs.
I know somebody who I used to write with and hang out with a lot in LA, and he is so talented. And oh my gosh, he goes by Brandon Cobain right now.
I've never heard of him. I'll have to check him out.
The most stunning, beautiful voice. I'm like, hey Brandon, shout out. Literally, the most beautiful voice, and has blossomed into this like absolutely phenomenal songwriter.
Cool.
He is writing with everybody, and he was just posting about how, he's doing that too. He's still having to do side things, and he is fully writing for your favorite artists.
Crazy.
Like in the pop world, who have absolutely crushed these songs out of the park, and still doing all of the extra things. Like, at what point do you get to do only music when you've put your whole entire life into it? You know what I mean? And like, that person absolutely deserves to only be doing music after all of this time. And he said like he did a whole post about it, and he was like, his co-writers, they're doing they're doing the side jobs too. They're Ubering, they're doing the whole thing. And I'm like, even at that level, you're still doing that. Like, people need to know, like, what in the world is happening.
Well, that's the part of it that it's like, I wouldn't change what I'm doing. Like, like I said, I feel like I'm on the right track. I feel like I finally have accepted, like, I finally accepted that this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. But it's hard to not be discouraged when you're just, like, drained, because you can't not be, because you're working. If you write every day, or, even if you don't, even if you write a couple days a week, and then you do a million other things, it's like you're working 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So it's just, when you're working 2 full-time jobs and you're still like super poor. So it's like, You know, and
it feels crazy. It does. I think it definitely gets into your head too, especially like at the rate that like prices are going up and things like that. It's definitely making creative space more difficult. And I don't think any of us have ever really gotten into this for monetary reasons. There are easier ways to make money. And I don't know if you've ever felt this, but like I've definitely been in positions where I'm like, oh man, I could make a ton of money doing this if I just switched my life over to that. And you look at it and you're like, no, I would just be so unhappy.
Well, that's the thing that's kind of funny about like my unconventional Nashville story is like I went with plan B before plan A.
Yep.
And plan B sucked.
Yeah.
Like plan B was like, okay, yeah, definitely don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like that's for definitely, there's no way. My other option was like marry rich and have a farm somewhere. Like that's cool. But like I still think I'd choose this. And then eventually I will be the rich man.
Exactly. Cher.
Shout out Cher.
Let's go.
And I'll have my own farm. So how about that?
Exactly. And you'll be way happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just, I wish it wasn't so hard to be financially stable. Like that's really, I always joke about like being rich, but like I just want to be financially stable.
No, that's it. Like it's funny. I think a lot of people like put a lot of like, I want to make all this money. Like that'd be cool, but like I want to make enough to just like be financially free in a place where I can create and just do that thing, you know? And it's so funny to realize that that's like, that is really success like, to so many people. And it's funny how many of us are struggling to do it. Well, but that's real.
And it's real. Like I'm very open about this because I mean, people from like my friends and family from home or like just people who I've known throughout my life are like, you are killing it. Like we're so proud of you. And it's so nice to hear that. And I appreciate it. And it means the world. And I know they mean it, but I'm like, just don't think because I'm like playing shows in Nashville, I'm still wiping butts on Wednesday mornings. Yeah. Like I'm still taking care of babies and like having, you know, it's not like this super, I don't know.
Even it's not glamorous.
Yeah, no, that is definitely not.
If you want a glamorous life, this is not the one.
No, definitely not. But even like you said, even people who are signed, it's just like there's a problem in Nashville with how impossible it is for songwriters to be compensated for their work. Yeah. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. And I like, again, want to be open about these kind of things with people because people should understand that there's a problem here. Like, you know, I think the average Joe Schmo doesn't understand that songwriters make 0.0000000, you know, one per stream.
Yeah, it's crazy. I always get the people that come up to me and they're like, and bless them, honestly, but they'll be like, it only takes that one, you know? And I'm like, I've actually had that one. Like, I've had that one.
It takes a few, but
it takes more than just the one because I'm still not really receiving a whole lot from that one. Right. So it's kind of crazy, though, to me that, like, it really can be, like, you know, a downer, but like for the most part, I think so many of us are just like so optimistic.
Yeah, and you're really, gonna choose it anyway. Like
exactly,
I wouldn't change it.
Let's just keep trucking forward and doing it. And it's so funny though because I like talking about the plan A, plan B thing. My mom always told me like, oh, you need a plan B or whatever and when I was younger. And I was like, there is no plan B. And she was like, that's crazy. Like, what do you mean? And I think she saw like somebody, I can't remember, it was like Nicki Minaj or somebody. She saw them on on an interview be like, there is no plan B. And she's like, you're just like Nicki Minaj. And I was like, no, I mean, at this point, that was probably crazy, a little delusional. But you have to be. Yeah. And I think once you start thinking plan Bs, especially in this industry, you start losing a little bit of yourself.
Right. Totally.
And you start losing the fire because if you have a plan B, you can lean back on it. If you don't really have a solid plan B, you're like, this is it and I have to make this work. Right. And you find ways to make it work. And then the other point that you were touching on that I thought was really interesting was the one about people thinking that literally, I cannot remember who it is, but they dropped into my DMs and they were like, you look like you are absolutely crushing it right now with your podcast and with your singles that you're dropping. And I was like, that's super kind of you. But like, I'm sitting, you know, in my house, just like absolutely losing my mind about like finances and how I'm going to keep moving forward with all of these things. Cause it's expensive to put things out. It's expensive to produce, you know, have a song produced. It's expensive to do all of the things that, you know, that are happening and just even to live. So it's funny. And I would suggest like that people know like, hey, you know, we can look like we got it together, but that is very social media based. And
well, and it's not like a negative thing where it's like, I think most of us are happy doing what we're doing because I wouldn't change it. But I just like to be open about, you know, it's not just like glitter and butterflies. Like it's a hard thing what we're doing. And I mean, it's just not as beautiful and like exciting as it might look on Instagram. Yeah. It's still great.
It's oh my God, there are moments where I'm like, this is why I do this. When I walk into a room and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just did this huge, amazing show and this was fun and like all the people showed up and it was great. Or like I just got into a room and wrote with this person and oh my gosh, how did that happen? And like there are like some real stories out there for sure when you choose this path, but like it's definitely it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
No. Well, and I think too that's why it's so important to celebrate those moments. And because they're huge. Like, you know, I realized because I think a lot of people, I think Nashville breeds this kind of mentality, but like you're always like, I can do better, I can do more, I can do this, I can do that. And you know, I think you don't always take the time to appreciate what you've done. Yeah. And I was having a moment like that at the end of the year where I was like, I struggle with the fact I didn't start sooner. So, you know, going with Plan B first, like I always think, God, if I had just like started when I was, you know, when I just moved here and I like, you know, I would be so much further now. Maybe I'd have a deal. I do this. And that mentality gets in my head sometimes. And, you know, I was thinking, you know, down on myself. And my boyfriend was like, you literally accomplished like so many goals you had this year. Yeah. And I was like, wait, I didn't even think about that. Like I actually did. There were a lot of goals I had for last year and I actually did accomplish them. Yeah. And I didn't even it sounds silly, but I like didn't even think about it. And then he said that and it brought me a lot of peace because I'm like, you know, and then I wrote it down and I'm like, okay, this is why people journal and this is why people have vision boards. Yeah. And I really want to make an actual vision board this year so I can go back. Because if I had made one last year, a lot of the things that I wanted to happen actually did.
It's kind of crazy. Like truly the vision board thing, it really does work. Yeah. I totally believe it. One 2 years ago and one this year, and literally everything on my list almost from like the year previous was accomplished.
It's so crazy because you don't like, feel it when you're in it.
No. Yeah. And you don't realize until like you're walking into the bathroom. That's where I keep mine, like usually is in the bathroom. Now it's in the closet, I think, after I moved. But I look in there and I'm like, oh my God, wait a second. I did that. Right. And then this time I got really specific and like I did the pictures and then I like wrote it down too, like all the different things. But like I actually wrote it as I already had it. So like I am grateful for, and then wrote the thing that I wanted. And I did it.
Love that.
The whole way. I'll show you.
Yeah, I want to see it.
It's in the closet.
It'll inspire me for mine.
But it really is cool because then I can look back next year and be like, okay, how much of this really was in the back of your mind that you did work towards and things like that. Because I never thought I'd be doing a podcast. I never thought I'd be coming in for a second season. Like
the podcast is slaying. You're slaying. Music's slaying.
Thank you. It's definitely a team effort, and it's so cool because like the more that you push with things, I think I realized the more like team members that are really important show up. And it's the right people at the right time. Like you said, like I don't know if you started earlier, like if it would have been the song that you chose to put out, and maybe it wouldn't have been right. You know, I think about that often too. Like, you know, things happen the way they happen at the right time when you're prepared for it.
Totally. And ultimately, like when I really think about it and I like am really honest with myself, I really do trust the journey. I trust my life as how it's happened, the difficult things, the easy things, the timeline of it. I do trust that ultimately, but, you know, it's just that like little voice in your head that's like, oh, if I had just,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah. And I mean, I think there's a lot more that goes into like where you end up in your life. Like, it's just, I don't know. I trust my journey, and I'm happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, we're here because we are big dreamers, and like there's a lot I want to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. You're like, honestly, I feel like I am just enjoying so much like the very like real side of this conversation with you, because I feel like a lot of people are like hesitant to come right out and be like, you know, maybe I don't have it fully together.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm working on it, like, and I'm moving forward, and here are the challenges. Like, that is really like what this is about, you know, is just being like, hey, this is really tough, but I'm still doing it. And here's the music that I have.
Yeah.
Because of it. And it's really cool. I love that.
And it, like you said, there's no, you know, when your heart is in this, there's no greater high than like for me, every time I enter or leave a writer's room, I'm like, I mean, of course, okay, 99% of the time. Sometimes I'll, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
some rides are not the greatest.
Right.
You know, some shows are not the greatest.
Yeah, which happens. But like the high you get when you go into a room and something doesn't exist. And then you leave and this like beautiful piece of art exists that like could, you know, has potential to be out in the world, or like it's just something that you and your writers needed to say. Like there's something so special, and I'm so grateful every day that I get to do that, you know? And so as hard as it is and how real we're being about the reality of being here, I'm so grateful that I get to do this.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I don't ever plan on not doing this, because
I love
it's
that.
just, it's an unbeatable like feeling.
It's true. Yeah. If you wouldn't have walked into the room, like there are songs that wouldn't exist.
Right.
And I think that's so cool. Like being like, wow, you really created something out of nothing, like out of just thin air, you know,
And
really
in the
pulled
way
it
that
out.
it did. Because like say you have this idea and like you bring it to a room and they're like, nah. And then you bring it to another room and they're like, yeah, it would have been a completely different song.
Yeah.
If, like, you know.
That's so true. Yeah. Have you ever tried to write a song? Like you had an idea, you tried to write it with a group of people, and then they were like, never mind, we're going to try something else. Like after you're like halfway done writing it, and then you take that same idea and you write it with another group.
Never so where it's like halfway done, but like there's been times where we'll spend like some time like thinking about it, like getting started. Yeah.
And then I'm always like in my head, I hear that version, but I still really wanted to write it, and we decided, hey, we're not gonna mess with this idea, but like take it and keep writing. And then I take it somewhere else, and then we write this other epic song, and I'm like, wow, if they would have continued on that song, this would have never existed. It's so interesting.
So much has to align for these like magical moments to happen and like this art to be created. So much had to align beforehand for it to, you know, be what it is. And I just think that's really cool and special. And yeah, that's something else I love about like the creation of the song.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, speaking of things having to align.
Okay.
So I like to ask, and I know you already know this.
Yes.
I like to ask songs that have kind of made you, that are nostalgic to you, that like made Maddie who she is, and really kind of give me a little bit of a background on 3 songs that really have been a huge part of your life, that have kind of that take you back when you hear them.
Okay, so I had one because I knew you were gonna ask this, and I had one ready. I'll have to think of the other 2 on the spot. But
love that. I love that.
Growing up, my first song is "Born to Fly" by Sarah Evans.
I love Sarah Evans.
Yes. It was one of the first songs that I just was like obsessed with. Like I was a kid and I remember listening to it and like waiting for it to come on CMT and watch the music video. And it just brought me like this like feeling in my body where I was like, oh my gosh, music is so cool. I just love it. And also, of course, like Born to Fly is about dreaming.
Yeah.
And at the time I didn't understand that, but I think it's cool now because I just loved it, because I thought it was a cool music video with like Wizard of Oz references in it. Like Sarah Evans is pretty and there's a cool violin, like
totally.
You know, you're a kid.
She's gorgeous. Yeah, still is gorgeous.
An icon. Yes.
Yeah.
But like, and now I'm like, I listen to it all the time, and it has just like a new meaning because it's just all about, you know, following your heart and knowing, you know, if you're meant to do something that you have to chase it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like loved that song always. I still love it. I have core memories of sitting waiting for the music video to come on.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Shout out Sarah Evans, love you, boo.
Oh God, she's the best. I got to meet her once. She was with Brad Paisley coming through Pittsburgh at one point, and she was just the sweetest.
Yeah.
Like truly, like I was just like, I can't believe I'm meeting her. Like, and I had like opened for a ton of people at that time that were like in country, but I was excited about that one.
She's so great
for sure, and like just truly like exactly who you think she's gonna be. Just like stunning, beautiful, inside and out person. So,
and another like cool full circle universe moment. I played the Bluebird a couple months ago, and my dad came in town for it, and my dad and I are really close, and he is a huge reason why I love music the way I do.
Yeah.
He's a musician, and you know, both my parents loved music and I grew up around it, but my dad was like a live karaoke machine where like I'd be like, I want to sing this song, and he like would, you know, he can play like every instrument, so he would just learn it and I'd sing it. But he came to town to see me play the Bluebird. It was only his second time or maybe third time coming to Nashville, and I surprised him for his birthday with Opry tickets to see the Grand Ole Opry, and it was Sarah Evans' induction. So it was like so cool and sweet, and it was like a special moment I'll always remember.
I love that so much. The Opry does that. I feel like I don't know how, but like it channels like who you need to see. Do you remember the song Don't Laugh at Me? It's like, don't laugh at me. That one. Yeah, don't call me names. That one. I was like, that is a core memory for me because it's not a great one, but it's a core memory. And I remember being in middle school and like there was a lot of bullying going on.
Yeah.
And they had us all come in like to this like auditorium and they played that song for us. And I was like, yes, like these kids are going to listen to the lyrics and they're going to understand not to bully people anymore.
Literally.
I genuinely in the 6th grade thought that people like, cause I listened to lyrics. I for sure thought like
who's the artist? I can't even think.
I am so upset that I don't know.
Okay.
And I feel like can we look up that song? It's called Don't Laugh at Me. I want to make sure I don't.
But he's probably like
that.
He's like, I'm putting this song out and this song is gonna save bullying.
Honestly,
everywhere. Bullying's done.
I 100 it
probably helped a little.
Bullying is canceled. Mark Wills. It was Mark Wills.
Mark Wills.
Yes. Okay.
What a king.
Truly, like I will tell you though, I went to the Opry. It was my first time at the Opry, and I sat down and I remember going home and crying the day that I realized people were actually making fun of the fact that they played that song, and they were like, we're going to bully even harder. And I was like,
gosh.
What is wrong with people? And like,
so mean.
I was a super sensitive kid. So I went home, my mom was like, what's wrong? And I was like, they played this song and then I love this song and then they played it and everybody bullied it. And I was like, why? But then I went to the Opry and he played it. And it was my first Opry, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, truly though, like the Opry, I swear they like channel who you need to hear that day. And you don't always know who's going to be there.
That is so funny. And like, I love that.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that song.
God.
But I do remember too, like you said, like people like liked it, but they also made fun of it.
They
I'm
did.
like, this song is so sad.
Yeah.
Can you not be a jerk for 5 seconds?
I love that people aren't like making fun of country music like they used to.
I know.
Like all growing up, like I did country music for like a really long time before I kind of went more pop
princess girl.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember like they were like, oh, you do that country stuff and blah, blah, blah. And like they would just totally be like snickering about it. And now all of a sudden all those same people are like, country music,
right?
Morgan Wallen. I'm like, okay, guys, come on.
Well, people too, if you like, anytime I hear someone be like, I don't like country music, I'm like, first of all, country music is so diverse that like there's no way that you don't like a single song under the country umbrella. So you're just like being weird.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
so
you do. Exactly.
Might not be your fave, but like everybody likes, like it's too diverse. It's like saying I don't like rock music.
Right. And
like,
I'm like, okay, that was just like an idea that you had in your head at some point that like people are like, oh, you like that? And I'm like, heck yeah, I'm gonna get down with that.
Yeah.
Like this is the vibe. Or they'll be like, oh, you know, I'm too like snooty for this or that or whatever. And I'll be like, or like, oh, I don't even try to listen to that. I'm like, why? Why are you depriving yourself of like learning about a new, like, honestly, it's like a new culture. Like, why would you deprive yourself of knowing, you know, a completely different genre?
Yeah.
Or like even just like a subgenre. Like, it's just funny to me that you would group in, you know?
Well, people get so caught up in labels. Like, it's like, it's just, I mean, it's funny because even country music, like so many country music songs, they, you know, they'll fall under the country music genre, but like I said, they don't really even sound necessarily sonically like what you would think country music is.
Yeah.
But everything just like, we all have to slap labels on everything. But I'm like, it's kind of hard to define art to begin with.
Yeah.
I think the music that I'm writing is pretty straightforward country, but you know what I mean?
Like, but it's like, it's like, I feel like it's country. I feel like you could put yourself in a category with Sarah Evans, to be honest. Like,
Thanks,
I think
girl.
it's very like palatable. Like, it would be hard not to love it, you know?
Thanks, girl. That's so sweet. I mean, so I guess like I'm saying, I'm not afraid of calling it country music because that's what I'm doing, but I'm just saying people who are like, you know, a lot of Morgan Wallen songs that y'all love aren't like really traditionally country. Like, it's still country music, but like, that's why you shouldn't go around just saying like, I don't listen to this or I don't listen to that. Because I'm like, you probably do.
You probably do and don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I love this conversation so much. Okay, do you have a second song?
Okay, let me think. Well, I have another like core memory song. I remember when my church came out.
Oh my gosh,
was,
yes.
Walking around my college campus, and I just felt like, I don't know, something about that song. I just loved it so much, and it was something where I was like, I want to do this. Like, I just want to do this so badly. Like, I want to make this kind of music, and I want to sing, and I want to like write my stories. And I don't think it necessarily changed my path. Like, I probably would have ended up here regardless. But I do remember like listening to that song, walking around school, like walking my campus, and being like, why am I in school? Like, I just need to move to Nashville and like be a singer.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, that song still gives me a little serotonin boost.
Definitely. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
All right,
think
number
what my
3.
third would be.
Let's get it.
So just like a song that means a lot to me, or something that like,
yeah, like something that, I mean, like, it could be anything from like stops you in your tracks to like helped you through a heartbreak to something that reminds you of your parents, or like, you know what I mean? Just like anything that's like really near and dear to you that like could make you feel something, you know, specific. When the core memory thing is so exactly what it is, you know?
My church is like so random, but I just have this memory of like loving it and being like, this is such a cool song, and wanting to make other people feel like that song made me feel.
That is so true. I think I've said this on here before, but I used to be like, do you feel like, I would walk around and ask people like, are you not feeling like what I'm feeling when I hear this song? Like, are you not feeling the chills? Are you not feeling like the understanding of the lyrics? Like, and like people would be like, it's a cool song. And I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, growing up, because like my parents weren't really like in music. My grandfather was, but I wasn't really talking to him about that at that point. And I would just be like, I'm feeling these emotions and they're really strong. And like, how is not everybody feeling these emotions? And then I realized it's like literally it just came out that it's like a condition to feel like goosebumps when you listen to music.
Cool. I have another condition.
Great.
Love it.
That's a song. These are my conditions. List them off.
I feel like that, but if that's a thing, what a gift we have. Like, what a gift to appreciate music for more than just, you know, something to put on.
Exactly.
Okay, I have my third.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't think of this right away. It would be Country Roads, because I know it's so basic too, but it's very special to my family because both my parents have roots in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And it was just a special song that my family always sang at like at every reunion, and me and my grandma would sing it together. And it's just a very, well, one, it's just a beautiful song. It's so beautiful. Even
anything John Denver.
Yeah,
honestly.
you can close your eyes and you're like, okay, I know exactly what he's talking about. Like, I can just see it. And it's just one of my favorite songs to sing for that reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's probably one of the earlier songs I heard. Granted, I feel like there was always music on growing up.
Yeah.
But that was one of them for sure.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm honestly a little bit terrified because I feel like we're so connected in this way. Like, you're gonna die.
Do you have roots in West Virginia?
I have. Okay, you're gonna crack up. I'll show you this song that I just wrote. You're gonna hear it because we actually have a show coming up, you and I.
I know. I'm so excited.
By the time this airs, it's probably already gonna be done.
I hope we slayed. We did.
I hope we slayed. It's fine. If you saw us, we slayed.
By the way, we definitely did. Well, by the time you're listening to this, we slayed our show.
We crushed it. We crushed it. Okay, so you're gonna laugh because one of the lyrics in the song that I wrote is based off of Country Roads because I have roots in West Virginia that are pretty deep, and literally the lyric is "the roots are deep in my family." And the fact that you just said that, I was like, stop it. Because you guys don't understand. We have both lived in Virginia, have roots in West Virginia, and also Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Very weird.
What is going on?
Yeah,
How have I not
weird.
met you before I met you?
I know. That is so crazy. Well,
This is so funny.
We basically have the opposite. Like, because Virginia is like where I spent most of my life.
Yeah.
And I had like a baby teeny period in Pittsburgh, and we're like opposites. We're a good balance.
It's so funny. Yeah. But so we're playing this show in Virginia.
Yes. I'm so excited. I'm just like, so grateful that I get to be part of
so
it.
grateful. I didn't realize either, like people, if I'm like, oh yeah, they're like, are you playing anything out of town? And I've met quite a few people who are in Virginia, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're playing this place called Wolf Trap. And they're like, that's a big show. And I'm like, I didn't know, but I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And the group of people that we're playing with, like, I'm super pumped about all of this. It's gonna be so much fun. And we're all different genres, so I love that.
When Erica reached out, she was like, hey, just wondering, like, would you be interested in doing this? I'm like, yeah. I am interested.
Let's go. And we're the only two girls on it too. And I was just like, Maddie.
I was hyped when I saw your name.
Yeah,
on it too.
I was super pumped. I was also like, girl, I'm going to be like, we're not on the same round, but I'm going to sit in the back and be like, do you need the backup vocals from the side of
Yeah,
the
I do.
stage?
I need you to. I need
Because I love that song so much.
Thanks, girl.
Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, that's so funny that Country Roads came up like that because truly that's one of mine as well, obviously.
Really?
Yeah, my dad is he is a huge WVU football fan.
My dad too. That's where we went to school.
Okay, so you'll appreciate this. We went to shout out WVU, by the way.
Go Mountaineers.
Let's go Mountaineers. So all growing up, like my dad and I, like our bonding thing was going with like his family and friends that he grew up with and everything to this massive tailgate that they started across from the stadium. Like his dad and his dad's friends started it, and then their kids and then their kids, and like it became this huge thing. So like come snow, sleet, rain, hail, hot water, no matter what it was, we were outside tailgating at like 8 a.m. And we're from Pittsburgh, so we drove. Well, he's from West Virginia, but we drove to Morgantown like every other weekend.
So were you like really little?
Literally, this was my whole growing up. Like I couldn't figure out why like everyone, all the adults were having so much fun and the weather wasn't bothering them, and like I was just like freezing, and I just wanted to go to the like place where they had the inflatables that was inside on the practice field so I could warm up. But it was just like this huge like part of my history, and obviously Country Roads is such a huge song,
right?
For WVU, and there's something so special about being in like the crowd for a big win and then everybody screaming that song.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a cool thing to be a part of.
I've been to one game, and it's so funny because I was like very young, and my mom, you know, no shade, football's cool, but like I just don't really care. Like I'm down to go to a game, I'm down to watch it, but it's not something that I'm like invested in.
Yeah.
Plus I was like young, so I don't know. But
you were like, where are the snacks?
Yeah, I'm like, do you guys have hot dogs? Like
what's good?
But we went to a game at WVU. They were playing Louisville, and West Virginia was like losing bad. It was like they were losing by like a zillion touchdowns. Do you know this game?
I swear to you, I think I was there because If this is the same game,
Okay.
this is one of my favorite stories of my dad ever. So please continue.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, so basically, WVU is losing so bad. It's raining. It's cold. My mom and I are like, can we please? To my dad and my uncle, we're like, we are so like, it is freezing. It's cold. They are losing so bad. Can we please leave? And my dad's like, let's just stay a little bit longer. Like we have, like, you know, he never really goes to West Virginia anymore.
Yeah.
And we're like begging to leave, and then like right as I think he was like about to give in,
Yeah.
and then WVU got a touchdown, and then like this crazy comeback with like
Yeah.
5 minutes left or something, WVU ended up winning the game. And my dad talks about all the time how like we almost made him miss that. Because we're like, please, for the love of God, like we're done.
Girl, we were at the same game.
That is so funny.
Because when I tell you that my dad got so mad, he's gonna kill me for telling this story but all of his friends make fun of this, so it's fun. He was so mad that they were down so badly, and I was like trying to be optimistic, and I was like, it's gonna be fine. He's like biting all his nails off, and I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. Let's just stay. Let's figure it out. I bet you they come back. And he was like, they're not coming back, and literally so angry, made me leave. And I was like, whatever, Dad. The further away we drive, he still has the radio on in the car to listen to it. The further away we drive, they're like, touchdown, another touchdown, another touchdown. And I'm just, country roads, take me home.
I can't. That is so funny.
I can't. It's literally what I joke about with him to this day when I see him is that game.
That's absurd.
I'm telling you, we have such funny things going on.
I can't wait to tell my dad that story. Although as soon as this comes out, he
He's
will definitely be listening.
I'm like, sorry, Dad. No, but
Yeah.
truly, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah. Anyway, West Virginia country roads.
Yeah.
Yeah. They that song is like you know how it's like originally about Western Virginia.
Right.
So I like to joke with my dad about that all the time. And so the song that I wrote with a friend of mine, Cliff Dorsey, he's amazing. We wanted to write a song actually about West Virginia. And I was like, I sent it to my dad, and I was like, we used little things here and there that were like a nod to the song originally because of how much it did mean to us.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I sent it to my dad and I said, Dad, this song's actually about West Virginia. And he was like, oh my God.
Aw,
but
sweet.
yeah, he's super pumped about it. But yeah, I'm planning on hopefully recording that one. So
I love that. That's so cool.
So we can get that out for my dad. So
I definitely am very proud of where I'm from. I don't claim West Virginia really, but Virginia. Like I just love Virginia so much. It's so beautiful. I mean, I love going home. I go home any chance I get.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
It's important to know where you came from and just really not forget that. And it's such a blessing to have like people who support you and are just like so there. And you always have them to kind of go back to when you need to, you need some ears or you just need a hug. Right. So I think that's amazing. That's great. Okay. Those are really great songs. I'm so excited. So I'm going to ask you a few wrap up questions.
Okay.
I want to know when you feel your most authentic.
Okay. One, with animals. I'm a big animal person. It's like my other personality trait besides being a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And I feel my most like peaceful and like in tune with myself when I'm around animals. And the other one would be songwriting, of course. Like in a writer's room.
Yeah.
Or around friends and family. I mean, I guess there's lots of times I feel authentically me.
I think that's great. That just means you're living in it. You know? That's so good. I love that. And we haven't gotten the animal answer either, which is so cool. I love that so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's another thing that I didn't like choose to be that way, but like it's just I like living in Nashville. People, I don't know, no shade on what anyone does with their life, but a lot of people like hunt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I personally wouldn't. And people are like, well, why? Like, you're from the country and you're this and you're that. And I'm like, I don't know why no one taught me any of these things, but I just like love animals and I want to advocate for animals, and I choose not to eat meat and like all this stuff just because I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
I don't know why. No one, my family all like, they like animals, but they all like eat meat and stuff. But I want to have a farm one day with a whole bunch of rescues, like cows and horses and chickens and goats. The
I
whole
love
nine.
that. I love that
Yeah.
so much. You can tell though you're like full animal whisperer because
Yeah.
Lenny, like she usually just chills with people, but she's never like in their face trying to share the microphone. And
My
I was
girl.
like, this is gonna be so much. You're gonna be trying to talk, and she's gonna just be like, "What's up?"
I love her.
No, she loves you clearly.
That's my girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
good. That's it. That's an amazing answer. I feel like it's easy to be like, really in tune with when you're with animals. Like I feel like
Yes.
they can tell when you're like not being yourself. So
It's just very like, it's not so much like, I don't know, maybe it's not so much like where I'm the most authentic, but it's when I'm the most like at peace.
yeah,
Um,
totally.
and when I'm most myself would definitely be like friends and family, just because I feel like I can be my true self and not worry about like, I don't know, annoying them or like,
Yeah.
because they have to love me. So
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Okay, so I'm thinking about this is like a new season 2 thing.
Okay.
What is a lyric or like a song that you misunderstood the lyrics to?
This isn't like a full song I misunderstood, but
Yeah, just some words.
there's a line in Redneck Woman that is, I'm just a product of my raising.
Yeah.
And I just remember like for the longest time, really up until I played on Broadway and I like had to look at the lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we out of the blue talking about raisins? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, I remember like being a kid and being like, I mean, they're cool, but like, I don't really know what this has to do with anything. Yeah, I never really understood, and I never put any thought into like, it's probably not raisins.
Yeah, you were like, it's definitely raisins.
Yeah.
She was like, you're crazy, but I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm like, Gretchen, I'm like confused, but sure.
If this is where Gretchen is
Yeah.
taking us, this is where we're going.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's not like really a whole song, but
No,
that's something
perfect.
funny that I don't know. I remember getting the lyrics. There's been a million times this has happened, but that's one I can think of.
That's a really good one.
You look at the lyrics, you're like, oh.
Yeah, all
Yep.
right.
That
Yep.
is actually making sense.
Yep. Oh my god, that's so good. That's a good one. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, if you could shout out an artist or person that you feel needs to get more recognition, be heard more, talked about more, listened to more, who would it be?
Okay, I knew you were going to ask this and I was stressed about it because since I like mostly am a writer first, in the sense that like my schedule's 90 to 95% writing with artists.
Yeah.
I know a lot of artists and I believe in all of them so much.
Yeah.
And I can't name all of them because we'll be here all day. And also,
I hear
if
you.
I name a few and forget some, it will keep me up at night. because
Oh
I
god, I
love
feel you. I get
But
it. I understand.
It's so dramatic, but really, I like just love everybody I work with. I believe in
Yeah.
them so much. But I have a counter.
okay.
I would love to shout out a few independent, unsigned songwriters.
Oh, I love this.
So these are a couple people I thought of that are pure writers who, to my knowledge, have no interest in ever putting music out, like as an artist.
yeah.
And all of them should have publishing deals and will have number ones one day. So I prepared.
I love this.
Aubrey Toon, Sam Blasco.
Yeah.
Those are two people I wrote sober with.
Yeah.
Mignon, Carly Schmidt, Becca Ray. Who am I forgetting? I think I was thinking of 6 people I was gonna say. Claire Carruthers.
I love it.
Yeah, those are 6 women that are unbelievable and deserve way more recognition, and they will get it. And I believe that. But
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout that out for sure,
Yes.
because that, again, like that for me, that works every bit as much as the artist, because people need to know who's writing their songs as
yeah. Well, and songwriters just generally, I mean, you're just not associated with the song.
Yeah,
like an
you're behind the
artist is.
curtain.
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. So also, speaking of that, I'm going to Uno reverse shout out Mike Parker. Thank you so much for shouting me out in the last podcast. You guys were so sweet, and thanks for loving my song.
Yeah, girl. Absolutely. And obviously we love Mike.
Yes.
We love Mike Parker here. Okay, perfect. And then the last question I'm going to ask you is, what do you have coming out next?
Okay.
And where can we find everything on you?
Okay, but before I tell you mine, I want to know what's coming up next in your world.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Give us like a quick little, like, I want to hear what's going on.
It's chaos. No. So I actually just started working on an EP.
Okay.
We're going to release like 3 singles, and I'm actually kind of nervous about it because it's the first time that I'm really putting things out that have no influence other than, you know, what I want to put out. Most of it is written with my sister, Danny Gillis, who
DNA,
is just,
baby.
Yes, you remember?
Yeah, girl.
My sister and I used to have a band called DNA, or Danny and Allie. Sisters. Yeah, so we do a lot of the writing together, but I'm super excited. We're gonna start working on that. Well, we did start last week, actually.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, we don't have like a firm timeline yet or anything like that, but within the year there should be, you know, 3 to 5 things coming your way.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I love that you wrote them with your sister.
It's a special thing, honestly. I would obviously sister harms are my favorite thing in the entire world, and there's something really special about writing with somebody who has that kind of like almost psychic bond with you, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have to ask her certain things or tell her certain things. She like already knows, and she's an amazing songwriter, amazing vocalist, but mainly she loves to edit and film videos and things like that. So if you're ever looking for like content, things like that, she's
and your content's gonna slay. Is what you're telling me.
She's we just put one out just for the fun of it. That was like an older song called One of These Days, just to kind of like test it, throw it out there. I really want to do a lot of things with movie placements, TV placements, things like that. I think that's just where my music is headed right now.
That's awesome.
Just the vibe. But I'm excited because she came and we actually filmed it in this room, like the little canvas for the song that's already out, and she just did it so quickly, and her turnaround is crazy with it. So it's kind of amazing to have her be somebody who wrote it with me, understands what I really want out of it, and then also is like on the other end shooting the content for it, where it's just like, wow, this all just came together, where like this vision is kind of surrounding the songs like in a little hug. So
it's so cool.
I'm very blessed to have her around. So
I can't wait to hear the songs.
Yeah, I'm pumped. You've heard a few of them.
I was
definitely
thinking,
hear a lot of them.
I bet
in
I
Virginia.
have. If they were songs you wrote with your sis, because I remember from DNA.
Yeah.
Are they any of the songs?
They're I think there are 2 of them that you probably have heard. But we're excited. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Cool.
But I want to thank you. I'm like, why is that? I don't often have people turning it around on me. But yeah, so definitely look out for it. But I'm excited to hear where all of your stuff is going. So please tell the people.
Well, I like I said earlier, I'd love to put out some more music. As far as like which songs and timelines and stuff, I don't really know, just because so much of my energy has been in writing. But I have a few songs that I feel like I might want to have, you know, I might want to tell the story. So we'll see. Like, I'm very open. I'm in a point in my life where I'm very open. I'm trying to take the pressure off of, like we were talking about earlier, the labels.
Mm-hmm.
I love to sing and I love to write music, and where that's going to go from here, I'm just open.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm doing all I can to like keep it moving, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely there will be more music, but I don't know. Hopefully I'll have something out this year.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Yeah.
And we can like always catch you. Like you play at the listening room a lot. You play at Bluebird Cafe
Yeah.
sometimes. You play a lot of different rounds. Do you want to like shout out anywhere that somebody can see you pretty soon coming up?
Well,
like past February maybe.
Besides, I mean, I just say yes to everything. If anyone asks me to play around, I always say yes. So
Yeah.
I guess I would say if you follow me on the gram,
Mm-hmm.
you will, I just share everything everywhere I'm playing on the gram.
Yeah.
And my Instagram is like so funny because everybody is like, dude, you need to change your Instagram. No one can find you because it's Maddie Lou, but the O is a zero.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm nostalgic. That was always my handle, and I don't want
Yeah.
to change it. So
I love
If you
it.
want to find me, Maddie Lou with a zero.
That's right. that's because that's nostalgic, like all of the songs.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want
And
to change
it's
it.
authentic to you.
Right.
And people will like, there are tons of people like that though. Like
Yeah.
artists that like still have like names where you're just like, wonder why they did that. But I bet it's that reason.
Yeah.
So, like people get used to them under that, honestly. I think I remember, I don't think I even put your last, I even asked you today, like I was like, tell me how you pronounce your last name because I don't want to pronounce it wrong because I know you as Maddie Lou in
Yeah.
my Instagram.
Well, I mean, that was just a name I grew up, like people
Yeah.
called me Maddie Lou, and it's just like, because my middle name's Louise.
I was going to say, that's so funny.
But I don't know. I just don't feel like changing it. So.
Yeah, don't. Absolutely not. Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect. And then also I wanted to ask you, do you have songs that are out right now that you've written for other people that you're really proud of that you want to shout out, or like anything coming up to maybe like watch out for on that end?
I have a few. I have like I think 5 or 6 that are already out. And I have actually a handful coming out this year. I think the nearest one is Drake Freeman is releasing a song called Pontiac Blue.
Oh,
And it's just I wrote it with him, Jack McKeon, and Max Gall. And it's just like a song about a terrible car, and it's really funny.
yeah.
I have another funny song coming out with Haley for Holland in a couple weeks called Eat the Damn Cake, and it's about crashing your ex's wedding.
I love that.
Yeah, I actually am excited. There's a lot of songs coming out this year that I was lucky enough to write on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will share all of them as they come, but those are 2 that I know are coming soon.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's amazing. I'm so excited to listen to all of these. I always follow you and
Thanks,
try to see
girl.
what you got coming up, and I always get excited when we're playing on the same things.
I know, me too.
Yeah, looking forward to all the future things coming and seeing everything that you're doing.
Yeah, and we get to go on a road trip soon.
We're going on a road trip.
Yep.
It's like sold out. I didn't. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
I'm so grateful. I'm so excited.
Honestly, shout out to your fam who's definitely coming.
Yeah,
Like-
shout out to all my friends
Yeah.
and family who are coming to support me.
And all the extended fam and friends of all of the artists that are coming out. I'm
Yes.
excited
It's
about
gonna
it.
be a blast.
Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for taking the time. Like, honestly, Maddie, you're just one of my favorite artists.
Aw,
and I
thank
just
you so
love
much.
how real and down to earth you are, and it shines through in your music.
Thank
and
you.
I just really appreciate it.
You're so sweet, and I am so super honored to have been asked to come chat. And I want to shout out Antonio behind the cam.
I literally could not do this without him. Like, I would be so lost. So
You guys are 2 earth angels, and I'm lucky to know you both.
It's a mutual feeling for sure.
Thanks,
Oh
girl.
my gosh. All right. Everybody, Maddie Lenhart, go check out all of her things that are already out, the things that are to come. We'll link all of her things down in the bio. And thank you for watching In Tune. Tune in next time.